would do a day in the life video. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently a full-time writer and writing all day every day. So if all the planning has gone to plan and the editing has gone okay, you will have already seen me waking up and feeding the bunnies and cleaning the bunnies, which is what I do first thing every morning. I did intend to have a little bit where I talked to you and was like, it's in the morning, hello. I didn't do that in the end, but you should have already seen a montage, hopefully, of me feeding the buns. It's now 9:30 and I'm a bit behind, to be honest. I've just sat down at my desk. I normally like to be here by 9, and I know it doesn't matter because I can work as late as I want, but I like to be here by 9, and generally I finish about 4 and go for a walk or something just to get myself out of the house. I found that's very important. Else I go a bit crazy if I've not been out of the house for like 2 days. I'm like, ugh. So I try to get out of the house. So I like to start by 9 just because I think it's good to set myself that goal. Otherwise I come to my computer not fresh and not actually wanting to do anything. So for those of you who are interested, this is, as I say, just a day in the life, and I'm just going to be really showing you what I do throughout the day. I find it quite interesting, the lives of writers. It's quite a unique lifestyle. This is actually where we were this morning when we were feeding the rabbits. This is my little, there's the rabbits over there, and this is my little desk and my little writing area, little window there. I don't know if you can see because you turned away from me. Little window that faces out onto a wall, which is just the loveliest view. It's not at all interesting to look at, it's just a white blank wall, so there's nothing to distract me. So today what I am doing, well, first of all I'm going to be sending off my story for Jane Campbell's workshop. Very exciting. We got sent the task last week and today is the day for sending off. Then I think Jen will be sending us all each other's stories, and our Skype session is in a week and a half or so, so that's very exciting. It's definitely excellent so far. I've really enjoyed writing my piece. For anybody who's sort of thinking about doing it, I would really recommend it. We actually only had a week to write this story, and when I first got the assignment I was panicking. I was thinking I'm not going to get this done in a week, but actually the shape of it has really helped me and forced me into writing it quickly, which is something I really struggle with, writing quickly and finishing things, and finishing it has given me a bit of a buzz. So firstly I'm going to email that to Jen and I will catch up with you after I've done that. Hello again, so that's my assignment safely sent off. So today what I'm going to be working on this morning, I'm going to be working on another short story which I am writing for a competition. The competition theme is discovery. I find it quite hard to write to themes, but for this one I've decided to write a story about the discovery that the world is not flat. So I based it on a ship, and it's about this ship that thinks it's going to sail and find the sort of point where the world cuts off, because obviously if the world's not round there's got to be an ending to it. So they are sailing towards the end effectively, and then they discover that actually they just keep going. It's difficult, as I say. I find it really hard being constrained to writing for a certain theme, but we'll see how it goes. I've got about 700 words so far, so I've got a long way to go. So we'll see how that goes, and this afternoon I'm actually going to be going in town and for coffee with a friend. Normally what I do, as I said before, is write until about 4 o'clock and then go out, but today, because this has come up, and the good thing is, being a writer, you can kind of slip and change things, so because this has come up, I'll probably be out for an hour or so this afternoon, and then just write later on when I would normally have my evening, so that's fine. So I can take you along for that as well, although I've never vlogged and I've never vlogged outside, so I'll probably just be doing some filming of my feet. I expect that's what's going to happen there. So I'm going to start writing now and I'll see you later. Hello, so the time is now 11:30 and I have only got 300 words done. The trouble is I'm at that stage of the story where I'm kind of prone to procrastination, because I like it when I'm editing a story or when I've at least got a brief draft of it, but when I'm writing it first time out, it's very easy to just be like, oh, I'll just do this and I'll just do this, and then before I know it, I have no word count done. But I'm hoping to really get my head down. I have my lunch generally at 12, and I'll probably have a really short lunch and literally just eat and go. A lot of the time I have an hour-long lunch just because it breaks up the day, but because I'm going out this afternoon, I'll probably literally eat and then get back to it. So I'm going to be stopping in half an hour anyway, so the next half hour is going to be straight head down writing, and then I will probably see you after my lunch. So I've just had a quick half-hour lunch. I'm now back upstairs. Before lunch, that half hour was actually really good because I had such a short time. I really knuckled down to it, which is often what I find. If I've got hours stretching ahead of me, I'm like, oh, I'll just do this quickly, and a few hours later I suddenly have nothing done. Whereas if I've got half an hour, I know that I've only got half an hour, so I can't afford to distract myself, which is quite good. So I got another 300 words done in that half hour, so that takes my total to 600, and I'm really happy with where the story's going actually. So I don't really mind so much that I didn't have the most productive morning. So that's okay. I've now got about an hour and a half until I have to be going out. So I'm going to, again, just get back to the same story. Normally what I do is I work on a short story for the morning, and then unless I've got a deadline coming up or I'm really struggling with my short story, I will generally then in the afternoon I'm writing a children's novel, which is all about happiness being stolen, which is really fun to write, and it's kind of my wind down story. But for now I'm just going to stay with this short story. I've only got about 2-3 weeks until this is needed, so I really need to buckle down because so far I only have just over 1,000 words and we're still at the beginning. Like, the voyage has not even started yet, so yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. See you later. Hello, so just a quick one before I go out, which I'm literally doing in a minute, and I will show you my walking feet in a second. So far I have done 900 words on my story, so not as good as I was hoping, but still okay, and I've also edited the majority of this video up to now, so that's good. And I'm going to go out for a cup of tea with a friend now and buy some fruit. I really want some fruit. And then I will be back to it later on. So, as I say, let's go. So I just got home from town. It's now 4 o'clock and I am just boiling the kettle for a cup of tea. So I had a really nice time in town, but I'm glad to be home now and going to get back to writing for the next hour or so. I'll do you a little haul of what I bought in town. So I got 2 pineapples, 2 mangoes, a punnet of strawberries, and I've already got some nectarines. That's going to be my dinner. Also, while we're here, I'll just show you the fantastic bag I bought for my birthday. It says The Great Gatsby on it, and it looks like a book cover. Very exciting. And I also got some scrummy new tea that I'm going to try, which is the pucker tea, vanilla chai flavour, which is also very exciting. Yes, lots of yummy treats, and I'm very excited for my dinner. But for now, as I say, I will just get back to writing and I'll let you know how it goes later. Bye! Hello, so the time is now 6:45 and I'm about to go and have my dinner. I think I'm pretty much done with my short story for today. I've done about 1,500 words on it, which I'm quite happy with. I think that's a pretty good number. I'll probably do a little bit on my kid story this evening, just a little bit of jotting, but for the most part I'm kind of done. I like to not sit at my desk in the evening, so generally I'll just do a little bit of sort of casual scribbling if I do any writing. But yes, I'm going to give up for the short story today and go and get dinner, so I will catch up with you later. Hello, so it's now 7 o'clock and I have spent the last hour and a half working on my story. I'm at the really fun part now because I'm just starting to go back over what I've done. I haven't quite reached the end, but I'm at that point where I'm close enough to the end that I think I have to go back in order to reach the end, if that makes sense. And I'm really enjoying actually going back because for me, I find in the first draft, you kind of just, it's a race to get it done, it's a race to get it out. And then the second draft is when you really start having fun with it and you've already got the basic structure and then you can just play. So I think I might call it a day for today with the writing. It's now, 7 actually. So it's been a pretty long day, and what I do in my evenings is read, as you probably know about my reading already. I do consider reading, it's still obviously something I love to do and I do it for fun, but I do sort of make sure that I carve the time out of my day, probably more than I would have before I had my booktube channel, purely because obviously I want to be able to talk about the books that I read, and the more books I read, the more I can talk about, so I do try quite hard. I'm about to go and give the bunnies some apple. They love a bit of apple in the evening, it's their favourite treat, and sit with them for a while, because even though I'm with them during the day, I'm up there with them all day, I don't feel like I really have much to do with them, but I also like to spend at least half an hour in the evening actually sitting with them, giving them treats and making sure they're okay, and I will take you with me. So the time is now 8:30 and I realised that I haven't really wrapped up. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me today and at least had some interest in what I've been doing. It's been quite good actually doing this because I've managed to make myself do more because I know I've got to update. Now I'm just going to relax and read. I'm currently reading In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. I don't know. It's really... enjoyment isn't the right word for it because it's just insane. Like, it is like reading a dystopian novel. It's unbelievable that this is non-fiction. But anyway, so I'm just going to relax now and read that before bed and sleep after that. So I will end it here because nothing else interesting is going to happen, and I wish you all the best and I'll see you next time. Bye.